Hello, my name is Ricardo Wong, and this is my design for the future of 2070. It is going to be a macro slash micro train system. So, to explain in general, a quick abstract of my design would be that I am creating a system and linkage of all sorts of location, scales, and values going from worldwide all the way to right outside of your house so that everything can flow very cohesively between transportation and just uh, being the most efficient as possible with transportation because it has to do a lot with how we use our resources and time as humans. So to start off, I wanted to go with the design to help um, the crucial um, major problem in the future with overpopulation. Overpopulation is a huge idea that is going to very much affect the outcome of how society and the world is going to play in the future. Here is an example of how we believe the future is going to be. Here is a quick representation of how the use of trains and transit publicly is very effective already as it is in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and how this would be a great idea compared to how we already believe transportation is used. Here's a visual representation of how much land is used just for cars today, which is quite absurd. Here's another visual representation of how much land is used by a city in parking, just parking. I also believe that using trains will help the gas emissions most importantly, so that is solving another issue in the world by 2070. And to start off, here would be a quick example of how, in a worldwide scale, would be like major locations to go around all the world and be linked under one system. Here would be an example of how one of the train stations would be worldwide and how people would gather there to go travel across the world. Here is another sort of values, which would be the nationwide scale. These are examples that are already real. They would be in places like Europe and Japan, which are used most efficiently. And here is one concept that is being brought to America, which is very, very useful, especially if you are trying to go across states. It only takes a matter of 6 hours to go from one district to another. Um, and then here is an example of how that sort of train station would look, being smaller than the worldwide one. Here is an example of more detailed into countries. An example here would be like the Northeast region, where it's much easier to go around states. Like, let's say you're trying to visit someone really quickly. It's just really efficient to go by and go through places. Here is an example of how that train would look. And then here I decided to focus more on New York since it's a huge city and how it would be great to sort of link everything together as one and make it very cohesive and just make the locations more accurate so that people can be more punctual and efficient. Here's an example of what that sort of train station would look like, sort of area and space. And here is another example of how specific I'd want the train stations to be, because of course the theme here is to be punctual and efficient so you could get to work on time, get to that appointment way faster and more efficiently while not taking up as much space, of course. Here's another example of how that would look. And then here, of course, is the most specific it can get is straight from outside of your house, there'd be some sort of transportation to go straight into your house, or wait, straight from your house straight to some sort of location, train station, whichever level you wish to go out, whether worldwide or across the street or in the city or districtly of any of those scales. Another example that would be great is using the sort of escalators that are a concept that are already used in airports. But so overall, the train station idea and system, I think, would believe be the most efficient to fix overpopulation and to just use resources and energy the most efficiently possible. Thank you and goodbye.